Are you someone whose investment strategy includes stocks? Are you a cruiser? Well, in today's episode of the Lido Loca Cruise Show, we're going to go back to our cheap cruise series and talk about how to save money on a cruise by buying stocks. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lido Loca Cruise Show. I'm your host, Tony. If you are new here, if you enjoy cruising content, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of our episodes. Well, we're continuing on with our Cruise Cheap series, and today is very timely because we're going to talk about the benefit you can get from purchasing stocks for your favorite cruise company. Today we're going to focus primarily on Carnival Cruise Corporation, but much of this information will apply to other cruise companies that are publicly traded that have a stock benefit. And it really is simple. Carnival Corporation wants to reward its faithful stockholders by giving them some onboard credit when they go on a cruise. All right, before we get into the nuts and bolts of how the stock benefit program works, let's talk about whether or not this is the right time to purchase cruise stock. This is just my opinion. I'm not a financial professional, but in my opinion, just somebody who observes the industry, this may be one of the best times to buy stock in the cruise lines. And it's very simple. We're seeing a softening in the industry because of recent global events. Let's let the numbers do a little bit of the talking. The 52-week high for Carnival Corporation stock, over $58. The 52-week low, which was just experienced a few days ago, around $30. So that's almost in half of what it was from its high. And when the market closed this past Friday, it closed, the Carnival stock closed at around $33 per share. So that's what you can buy Carnival shares for right now, $33. And again, this is almost half of what its high was because of global conditions. Now, buying stock is a speculative thing. It's a risk-based thing. If you're somebody that bought those stocks at $50, you've lost almost half the value in your stock. But if you're somebody who is opportunistic, somebody that wants to shift their investments around, somebody that wants to get into the cruise stock perk business, there may be no better time, because as things change in the global situation, then you will also see an uptick in those stock prices. Again, my opinion, but that's the way I believe it will work. And for me, this really has me enticed to possibly buy some Carnival Cruise stock. But you might be saying to yourself, well, what if I don't want to cruise on Carnival cruise ships? Well, the cool thing is you're buying stock in Carnival Corporation, and the stock benefit applies to their whole family of cruise lines. So I'm going to grab some notes that I took here. I don't want to get anything wrong. I'm going to tell you about the Carnival Corporation stock benefit. I'm going to tell you which cruise lines it applies to and how it works. Here we go. So let's first talk about which lines this applies to. So the North American Carnival brands, of course, are Carnival Cruise Line, Princess Cruises, Holland America Line, Seabourn, Cunard, and Costa Cruises. This benefit will apply to all of those. So if those are your favorite cruise lines or a line that you want to try, you could do this. In the Continental Europe brands, that is Costa Cruises and Ada Cruises. And then in the United Kingdom, you have P&O Cruises, Cunard, Princess Cruises, and then in the Australia brands, you have P&O, Princess Cruises, and Carnival Cruise Lines. So all of those apply to this stock purchase plan. So here's the key deal. You have to purchase 100 shares of Carnival Corporation stock or Carnival PLC stock to get this benefit. So what are the benefits? If you are a 100 share shareholder, you get an onboard credit per stateroom on sailings of 14 days or longer of $250 on the North American brands, 200 euros on the Continental Europe brands. You get 150 pounds if you are part of the United Kingdom brands, and you get 250 Australian dollars if it's part of the Australian brand. So those are for the 14-day cruises. Of course, you see the information right here. Onboard credit per stateroom of 7 days to 13 days. North American brand, $100 onboard credit on US dollars. Continental Europe brand, 75 euros. United Kingdom brand, 60 pounds. Australian brands, 100 Australian dollars. And then you, even if it's a short cruise, onboard credit per stateroom on sailings of 6 days or less, 50 US dollars. 40 euros, 30 pounds, or 50 Australian dollars. So all you have to do is be able to demonstrate that you own 100 shares of the stock. You can get an ownership certificate. You would need to mail that in to the cruise line to establish that you are an owner. There are some restrictions that are important. Let me read it as it is written. This benefit is available to shareholders holding a minimum of 100 shares of Carnival Corporation or Carnival PLC. Employees, travel agents cruising at travel agent rates, tour conductors, or anyone cruising on a reduced rate or complimentary basis are excluded from this offer. This benefit is non-transferable, cannot be exchanged for cash, and cannot be used for casino credits/charges and gratuities charged to your onboard account. Only one onboard credit per shareholder occupied stateroom. Reservations must be made. Now, this is for 2020. These are for reservations that are being made by February 29, 2021. They update this policy every year, and this is the 2020 policy. So a really interesting benefit with a few restrictions. But if you're somebody that already invests and you have some investment that you can move, again, I think this might be the right time to invest into Carnival Corporation. It's been a big swing from its high to low, and I do feel like it's going to go up again. But again, I'm not an expert in that field. That's just kind of me reading the tea leaves. Basically, if you can buy 100 shares of Carnival stock, you will save money on every cruise going forward. And that's not a bad deal. It's one way to cruise cheap. So I think it'd be a really interesting conversation in the comments. If you're somebody that has 100 shares, how has this worked out for you? Have you run into any of these restrictions? Are there any gotchas that aren't just apparent from reading the policy? Please help the community out. Help inform us down in the comments. What do you think? Is it the right time to buy some Carnival stock? This is just another cool way to save money on your cruises. And again, a lot of options. If you're not primarily a Carnival Cruise Line cruiser, maybe you're a Princess cruiser and you can save some money. Did you know? Hopefully you found the information helpful. If so, please hit the like button. But more importantly, watch the other videos in the Cruise Cheap series. Here's the playlist. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Tony with the Lido Loca Cruise Show. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.